What's up, fellow gamers? Welcome back to Let's Play Seven Nights Flashpoint. Got some quick dialogues to go through, and then it's time for Loophole Heist, so that we can get out from under a $2 million debt here. So we'll see if this legwork completes, we'll get our field op center up, and then we'll get some leverage to make Loophole Heist that little bit easier. Well, it took a while, but I think I found exactly who we need to talk to. Let me introduce Warner Braun Corporate VP, Trey McGill. Your face here did good work. She found me in a quiet moment. I imagine there are few quiet moments right now. On the transatlantic ship, it was quiet. None of us will find that again. Nor will we return to Berlin. Now it seems Warner Braun Global has deemed this is your new permanent home. So let me welcome you to New Boston. If you're going to be stuck here, you're going to need people like me on call. Cyberknight. As impressive as I had imagined. You're a rarity, at least back across the ocean. I understand New Boston's quite a few of your type. I will, in fact, need you. But don't hold your breath. This runs on your Hollywood principle. I call you. Pleasant enough. A new friend. Well done, Blair. This corporate VP will try to play it cool, but the blood is in the water. The first waves of citizens and soldiers arriving are going to get chewed up and spit out by this city. To establish the beachhead in the zone, the Megacorp will accept a few casualties, but Trey doesn't want to be among them. A first contact in a new megacorporation is a foot in the door. Stories, missions, prop gen missions, and introductions to the others in Warner Braun Global are coming soon for Warner Braun contacts. And yeah, indeed, there are actually several missions that end up coming out, sort of spawning as a result of this unlocking. But for now, it's a contact. We can go and see what Trey McGill is up to. He's not terribly special right now. He does buy item blueprints from me. Ultimately, we can get influence faster. We can get some more money from files. If he's ever angered, he might set hunters more often, but realistically, he doesn't provide much for us except he doesn't like have services we care about. My understanding is they've been planning some level of a contact update in the relatively near future. Full launch is in about 6 weeks, so 5-6 weeks something around there. So we'll see what this becomes, if it'll be before launch or not. But for now, he's a source of money, but I would still rather, upgrade the services of my Gunrunner or even my, I'm blanking on the name, Wire Ghost, there we go. Because that way they give services, because otherwise everyone more or less pays the same. So there's not really a big deal here. Regardless, again, it is going to be time for Loophole Heist. I'm going to go ahead and do training on my hacker. Basically, I'm not sure I need +1 duration overclock right now. I think I'd rather make sure null op is a bit stronger. Well, I don't need more than one node here. I think I will take duration overclock. I'll take one node on null op damage. I'm going to prioritize the bottom lane here so I can get a third charge here. I think overall that's going to be enough power on that for now. Eventually we can get a second charge of packet loss. I think that'll be fine, but I think he's happy where he is. When this mission is done and my barracks is done, we can go ahead and hire the Vanguard who's waiting to be recruited. 9 days left until that call is due, but it is time to see if we want to do anything here. Ultimately, without this room being upgraded, I can't buy any other leverage here. I could block escalations, which is honestly pretty reasonable. I actually wouldn't mind doing that in case I'm afraid of, running into reinforce or something. So I'm going to buy an alarm malfunction. I think that'll be decent, but otherwise not much to write home about, and that's fine. I do have an open task, but I have no money, so I'm going to run this mission first and then use that money to further fund upgrading the base. But eventually Underworld Hub Level 2 will be nice. I'll get that when I can, but again, I can't quite afford upgrading power or cooling. I guess I can see if I have anything I can sell here. I'm going to sell this so I have money. And that way I can put some power wires in and make this go a little bit faster long term. I think this is correct. All right, it is finally time for Loophole Heist, 4 minutes in. We're going to get some trust and influence with Octane. Our large debt will be forgiven. If we can complete it on a low security level, we get some bonus XP. That's not a very big deal. It's going to end up being like 10 XP per person, so I wouldn't hold my breath, but it is there. Regardless, this is what we've got here. I decided not to buy any other leverage. It is a 2-part mission, though. And we need to, of course, make sure that Egress is actually holding on to real gear. So I've got to move a couple things around. I should have done it beforehand. This is my fault for not doing so, but we have to kind of free up some gear. So the double pistol is going to go to the Gunslinger, of course. Let's go ahead and do that. You're going to have the good pistol. You're going to have the spec'd out revolver. It's going to be this sniper who's not really... No, it's my Scourge who's not going on anything. So I'm going to drop the Scourge's gear. I'm going to give it over to my hacker. He's not going to be great at using this, but again, I'm going for unique equipment per character, and so this is what he's got. He's not going to be good at it. It doesn't matter. This is the squad. Oh yeah, one more thing. I've got to actually train my Gunslinger. I forgot about that one as well. I've got Gun Kata. I'm pretty tempted to bump some of the damage and stuff here. I didn't really think through this very well. That's kind of my bad for not getting this more ready from the last episode. But ultimately, I'm going to say, yeah, let's make Gun Kata better. I'm liking getting cooldown and charges, but I also want to bump the damage a little bit here and the radius. So some crit chance, decent arc here. Don't know if I want these as much. I think this is going to be enough arc. I think I care less about the crit than the actual ability to hit everybody. And so we'll take these in, and that'll be maxed out by level 4. At least these nodes will be, and then we'll look at everything else and figure out where else we're going. I might path for trigger vector. I might not. We'll see down the line. Regardless, we've got a crew. Should be ready to go. We've got an agent EX. We've got a hacker. We have decent device disabling, and we have pretty good damage overall. Didn't buy any better pistols. It's going to be fine. All right, let's rock. It doesn't look like much from a distance, but that's the point. Among this maze of abandoned skyrises, you'd never spot it. The Free Streets Compact set off some homemade chemical weapon in this district in 27. Looks like it never recovered. Everything ground to a halt, and all the investment dried up. This area was supposed to be an extension of Liberty Avenues. Look at it now. Only good for hiding D-cartel havens. But you can tell, we are where we need to be. This place is crawling with whistlers. Also got some basic guards here. Guarded by their own little cult soldiers. Pretty clear tell. I'll let you handle them. You're good right where you are. We've got this. Keep a wide eye on the district. We might get company if we're not careful. We want to get down here, of course. On it. While I'm watching, you're heading for the stairs down. The schematics Octane shared indicate it's quite a few flights down, and there's an elevator descent into the bunker. Quickly, but quietly now. Alrighty, so here's us. We have 3 ways in. We can go all the way around and down. We can go part way across and then down. Or we can go up here and then down. Again, our sort of see enemies vision radius is about 40 meters, and so we can see around here. If there's someone up here or over here, we wouldn't know. But we know that this is the layout. If we go left, we are likely to run through him, and then definitely both these 2 guys. And then who knows what's down here. But that's kind of guaranteed 3 guards and some unknowns. And, you know, patrols to our right and to our left is going to be a little bit more, you know, some more unknown unknowns. If we go up this way, we only have vision to about here, sure. We're going to still go through 3 guards, but it's a lot more secluded in that we can probably bypass everyone on the left. Like, the fact that they're standing here in front of the door like this means they're likely to be turning back and forth instead of patrolling out actively, where this guy's probably actually going to patrol actively, so this guy's, you know, in the way no matter what. These guys probably are standing still as well, to be fair, but because I want optional loot, going through these 2 boxes and having easy access turning off this camera makes this pathing feel more safe and intuitive. One thing I could do is a little bit of prediction on where the guards are moving. If you turn around, you can probably spot me. If you come down, you can spot me. So I'm going to predict here. You are running away. I'm going to predict here. I don't think I can get more guards. No, it's actually in max range. And you are not going far enough. So ultimately, I know that I'm going to be safe at the start of this turn. Difficulty is these people are at exactly 10, which is going to be slightly awkward to path around, but I'm pretty sure I can be okay. Yep, I get 24 and 21, so we're going to be just fine here. So we're going to pop yield a whole bunch. Let the guards have their turn. Okay, you're patrolling up that way. Cool, probably in a square. It's very likely. You are indeed standing still. You are indeed standing still. You're doing the same thing. You're probably standing still. Cool. And then the last 2 guards are these 2, which I should let them act, so go ahead. You're walking away as I predicted, with look ahead, and probably similar for this last guy. And you're turning very, very little. Yeah, we're totally fine. So, hey, opening salvo, totally reasonable. So the next question is, am I allowed to go loud? And if so, how much? Right, so for example, if I go up to, yeah, so I would like to get line of sight on both of these guys. It's a little bit tough to do so. But if I could, like right here, I can see that there are 3 guards in earshot. You are just out of earshot. You're at 40 meters, and this gun is just not quite that loud. It's only 35. And so walking to right here allows me a clean line on these 2, which is pretty safe. And I expect to clean up everyone else that, you know, all 3 guys who can hear this. So you can hear me. You spot me. I don't care. It's time for full auto. I'm going to aim at these 2. And again, no one's going to hear the gunfire. So this is basically a very safe, functionally quiet opener. We get a crit. That's really good. And so the question now is, do I go full auto again? Do I look for pistol and hope it's good enough? I'm going to go for pistol. It's not guaranteed to work, but that's okay. So I'm going to run sort of in a straight line towards this. Go down to 1 action point. I'll be within guaranteed glancing hit range. And, you know, no big deal. Get half damage. Yeah, we get a low roll, that's fine. But you're done. Next up is now the Agent EX. Again, we know that this gun is kind of loud, so you got to be kind of careful on this one. It's going to be a little bit harder to get what I want here, right? Because it's hard to be in range for you, while also not so loud that these guys hear the gunfire. So you can see if I run up to here and get a blue line, you're in gunshot range. So it's probably going to be the submachine gun instead. It's probably going to be like one guy at a time. So I think realistically, actually what I'd like to do is yield down to the hacker and see how well he does with the sword, but that's going to be harder to kind of have happen. I would like to get line of sight with having 4 action points. It seems pretty unlikely. Yeah, this guy's hard to shoot at from over here, so I'm just going to be a little bit safe. I'm going to run up all the way to here. Silenced SMG is going to be quite enough that no one else is going to hear. I'm going to shoot at you twice and it'll be fine. So, might miss, but once I get the recoil back, it's guaranteed to get a glancing hit. So first one misses, but now it's going to be guaranteed. Guaranteed glancing hit thanks to focused fire killing the recoil. And there's no way I don't do at least 5 damage, so down you go. Good stuff there. I don't want to risk miscalculating AP on my hacker, even though I'd love to use his sword effectively. So we're just going to shoot from here. Decent damage. I'm just going to wear him down. Yep, down he goes in 2 shots. There are definitely ways to be more action point efficient, but I didn't want to risk not getting the kill and getting, you know, ratted out. So it's going this way. It's fine. Hacker, of course, has very, very few useful talents in meat space. We're just going to kind of run forward here. No major problems. We get some forward progress, and now that we're within 40 meters, we see there's one more guard way over there. But no one else is back up here. This is totally fine, so this part's safe. We would like the loot box if we can. It's not required, but it's nice to get them. Alright, so there are no living guards who heard or saw anything, so no extra tally. Eventually their body timers will run out. That's going to be in 3 turns, that's going to be in 3 turns, and that one's going to be in 2. So I might want to spoof this timer. The other ones shouldn't be necessary. But I'm going to run up. I'm going to signal grift this body. I'm also going to go ahead and use line crawler on this guy. And then I'm tempted to try to shadow this guard to like run a little bit closer and not like run away. And I feel like it's a decent use of 2 action points here. So let's highlight so we can see the line of the vision cone. And then if I throw it here, this should force them to turn left and then walk onto that square. So, wow, you saw something suspicious. You should investigate that. Everyone else can simply yield and wait. Shouldn't be a problem. You're investigating, you're going to stop and end your turn. Great, we pulled you over. Decent enough use of 2 action points. You are patrolling guarding back and forth. You're not a moving character. You're still patrolling, but you're not anywhere I care about, so that's fine. Alright, now I have to care about being properly lethal. So if I go to here, I have 3 action points, which is 2 shots. That seems pretty acceptable. I think we can knock this guy down, no big problem. First shot looks decent. Second shot goes pretty well. And that should give me easy space for my hacker to come down and use the sword. If I go to here, I'm probably going to be in range. I think I won't be, but I'll check to make sure. I believe attack range, I mean, I guess we can see from this marker here, I have 0 people in range, so no, I'm not. That should be totally fine. Run down, get spotted. We reveal a new guard, so there's somebody else now to talk about. There's going to be a guaranteed kill, even on a glance. We get a full damage hit, that's fine. Let's start spreading around, spreading out, I should say. We should grab this loot box, we should grab that loot box, and get ready for the exit. We know that these guards are standing still. We know one of these 2 guards is standing still. We don't know about both of them, so there's going to be, you know, some room for angst, but for now we're okay. Typical 3 tally per turn, no big deal. Again, might as well wait and see what the guards do. Everyone has the ability to delay appropriately here, so no rush. I'll have you grab loot, since you're going to do that no matter what. There's no reason to wait and see anything other than getting the loot and then seeing. Not bad. Agent EX going to stand around. We know you're standing. We know you're still doing this patrol, but it's not a very good patrol. I'm going to wait on the Cyber Knight because we don't know what this last guard is doing. You are indeed patrolling back this way. That's a little scary. Although right now you can see the stairs, but not our approach, so we have a bit of space there. Unfortunately, I have no new charges of look ahead, and so I can't predict if you're going backwards or not afterwards. That's a little bit of danger. Like, I don't really want to stand here if I can help it, right? Because that could actually go badly. Unless I want to, well, actually, here's the thing. With you having 12 initiative, I think I'm actually willing to play fairly risky and kind of be up close here and figure out if we're going to get the kill or not. I think it's going to be okay. It's a little funky, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to have you run pretty far forward yourself. And then if I duck, do I get revealed? Looks like I don't, so I can duck to this cover here and be fine. We have another guard to reveal. Okay, that side would have been very unsafe. Fine. Agent EX can, I guess, yeah, run partially forward. I'm going to... Okay, so you can kind of run to here and be totally safe, so... Sure, we're just going to take kind of aggressive plays here. Actually, one thing I could try to do... I'm almost late, but I think it'll actually work here. Is I'm going to run to here. And what I'm going to do is throw down... I hope I get the radius right. If I get it wrong, it's going to be kind of sad for me. I'm going to throw down smoke and just put it right here. So the goal is basically, if he does walk forward, he sees smoke and not us, he'll still be like, wait a second, there's smoke, something's going wrong, but he can't shoot us because he can't see us. And so the downside of getting the distance wrong is not a big deal, and it allows me to be really greedy and potentially make a break for it during the next turn. Okay, we get a nice weapon mod, and looks like that was some money. So the team is standing in smoke. I'm not quite sure if we can make it in with 6 action points, but we're going to find out pretty soon. So 4th turn comes up, some more tally. We are pending a security escalation here. This is actually my first time playing this mission with the nerf to the recharge rate of Tactical Surge. Normally this is a turn with Tactical Surge back up, and it's very, very easy to make it to this square. Okay, so cool. It looks like 6 action points from here is just enough. Yeah, with a little bit of room to spare. So because you're at 12, though, I mean, theoretically, we could run right in front of him, and then run right in front of him, run right in front of him. He's going to be alert, but not be able to do anything. That seems kind of incorrect. I should just wait and make sure my entire team can go. I can also, while I'm here, make sure we can all make the run. That's going to be close, but that should count as inside the square. So you should be fine as well. Your patrol is still useless. You're going to have no problems at all. I'm not going to stand, but I know I'm close enough that I'm fine. And then I'm pretty sure the Cybernite's cool too. So you're patrolling away. That's good news. Great. And now that we know the only guard left is you, and we know that you're never turning around, the entire team can go make a run for it and try to get downstairs with no security tally. So that's going to be... Right, that's going to be pretty securely where we're trying to go. He hears footsteps, but it doesn't matter. His turn is already over. And so as long as the entire team makes it out, which, from what I saw, should be the case, it should be no problem. So you're going to run down. He's going to get seen. This guy's angsty. But as long as we get out, it won't matter. He won't be able to do anything about this. So let's make sure you go as far as you can. That looks like as far as I can go. And then, unless I really grief, this should be no problem for the hacker. If I got it wrong, I'm very sad, because he's going to get shot a lot. But it looks like we are totally fine. Just kind of make sure we're pretty clearly in the square. We most definitely are. I'm not overshooting it. I'm not undershooting it. We're definitely in the right spot. All right. So all that pending tally doesn't matter. What's important is that we are down. The team is assembled at the finance bunker entrance. We're heading down the stairs now. Remember, we're leaving the facade behind now. Up here, you can tell we're trying to stay hidden. It's going to be a little more spiky down there. Sure thing. Alright, so this one does have the ability to hack for loot. You can go stealth, you can go combat. Obviously we did a mix last time. Bypassing guards cleverly. We've hit the bunker floor. It's freezing here. I can barely get a read on you down there. So this is our target. That's why I'm here. The place is bristling with security, but the relay databanks are within striking distance. Good to know. Only you can deliver the Q endpoint. Straight from my quantum courier memory into the machine. Confirmed. Alrighty, so we need to deliver the Q endpoint into this terminal. We know that the Q endpoint we stole in Haven Smokeout was a D Street Cartel hideout, and we know that this is a D Street Cartel hideout as well, so we're pretty clearly heisting up against Octane's own crew. We know there's one guard here. Again, our vision is about 40 meters, which is like roughly, I mean, that's 36, so yeah, it's like roughly this. So if the people up here on the high ground or back here or like at the terminal, we don't know. But like even most of this area itself, like up to about this chair, we know there's no guards there yet. So this entire bottom half is totally fine. Okay, so let's see. What's the plan? Well, I think letting this guard waste their turn is very reasonable. There are a lot of devices here. I would like to do some hacking. It's worth noting this host only has loot in it. And this host is actually tied to a couple of cameras and some laser gates, as well as this bioscan field in the middle. It's worth noting that, yeah, these two cameras get spotted. This one, though, does not. Right, it is not attached, nor are these laser wires, so it's these two cameras and these laser gates. We could have the entire team march forward, but we also know there's no guards back here, but there could be guards up there, so maybe not a reason to march forward too far. But of course, we have to get this close to the terminal, so we'll see. Either way, tactical surge to start. And let's just... Actually, I should have planned out some of these devices, I think. So cameras can rotate. This kind of position looks like cameras that are likely to turn and look at other parts on the map. This one might turn to the right, but it would only hit this. So it's probably only going forward. This one is pretty clearly positioned to be able to turn right. These are also clearly able to turn and make this stuff annoying. So there's a lot of likely camera coverage down here. This motion field sensor matters. It's going to cost me a lot of action points to get through it without triggering stuff. Laser wires may be a cheap way to do that. Is just pop the laser wires and then come out this way. It lets us bypass a lot of this stuff. Someone's got to get through here still, but it's not nearly as bad. And so what I'm going to probably do is, since I want my CK to run kind of straight up if I can, I'm going to turn off this motion field. I think that'll be worth it. I'm going to delay. You're going to move that way. That's totally fine. I'm going to have you start the actual gameplay now. You're going to run towards here. So I'm going to start with... Darn, I can't get... Or can I? Yeah, I can't get line of sight and only spend 3 AP with and magnet into the wall. So I'm going to go like this. Give you some new info. Okay, there's another guard here. Okay, fine. You're 30 meters away, so I see about to here, roughly. I'm going to go ahead and line crawl this laser wire. And, yeah, you both can hear the gunfire. So the question is, am I willing... Ooh, Okay, I can just barely get them both in gunfire range. And that's... Actually, I'm going to take the risk because, ultimately, I know that my vision range is larger than the noise radius on this gun. And I'm only really running a few meters up here. Like, this is only, like, 2 meters. So, actually, I'm quite confident that even if I run to get into range of this guy by going here, I'm not going to get anyone else in earshot range. I think, well, it's close. This is going to be like 8 meters or so. Okay, so yeah, it's close. So you are 38 meters away. That's just good enough that I'm fine like this. So this is going to look pretty good. I'm going to double check by making the UI switch back and forth. Yep. No one else is in earshot range. Damage on 1, damage on 2. Down they go. And you can see, again, this guy doesn't hear anything. We're totally safe there. All right. So next up, we have Egress, who could do some looting for us. We could run straight forward here. With 1 action point left, it would be a little dangerous. He wouldn't be able to easily get back out, I don't think. And I don't really want to generate 6 tally if I can help it. So I think what I'm going to do is have him run along the outside here. We know there's no guards like really close on this side, so I can have him run all the way around. And he can kind of support the Cyberknight from the top here, and depending on what this guy does, we can knock him down. We can also use things like Thrown Bullet or Hold Up to slow him down, so that should be pretty decent. So you're over on that side. I'm going to send Upsell, just like basically straight forward. From the right-hand side, sure, but I'm going to send him right towards the Matrix host. One thing I actually should consider doing, though, is I really think this camera is going to be annoying. If it swings, it's going to swing through here and catch me, so I'm going to preemptively packet loss this camera. There's a lot of things here, but I'm going to have this, you know, sit down for 2 turns. From what I recall, from looking at Egress's move, I wasn't going to be able to get on the host this turn anyway. If it made the difference between hacking and not, I would have made a different choice. But as it turns out, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have had a choice. So there's another guard. There's one on the left side here. Even if you walk forward, you're not going to see this host, so I'm not worried about it. You might be scary, though. And yeah, you can see the amount of action points I have means it like wasn't really going to be close. I'm going to try to magnet onto here. That looks pretty doable. No, not quite. Darn. Okay. Well, I'll have him grab this. No problem. Next turn. And then for the Cyber Knight, most of my stuff is down. If I run all the way across, I get caught in the middle. So I'm going to go with everybody else and go this way. And we're going to try to knock that guy down. Well, yeah, if I run through the middle, this bioscan field catches both of us, and it's bad. If I run... Yeah, I basically just don't have a good way of doing what I want. So... Yeah, if I run in the middle... I mean, I can stop right here. It's not amazing, but I could. And then run across next turn. It's honestly not the worst idea. I can run across and deal some decent damage. I think this is actually playable. Okay, I'm going to stay up top here. This camera's only down for one more turn. I don't have a better option. Shooting him is not likely to kill. I'm going to go ahead and use look ahead and see where you're going. You are still heading away. Okay, so you're actually not going to be a problem for us, and we can leave you alive. Because you're going to be off there, and then next turn we'll see what you're going, and it shouldn't be a problem. Again, can't really make it across into the room. That's fine. Totally reasonable first turn. We got some forward progress. We're kind of trapped on this right-hand side, but oh well. Yeah, so that camera, look down there. It did turn, but thankfully we're not in a dangerous spot here. We can delay and let you waste your turn. Also want to see what you're up to. You're not going very far. Okay, so we're not worried about you either. That's good. Because we know you're not going to look down, we can have Upsell go for the Matrix host, spend 2 AP getting there, and then we can start hacking. And I would love to turn off these cameras if I can, but it's going to be hard to reach them on the first turn. If we can do it, that's great. Yeah, pretty big host. So we get hard shell, we get overclock, we load the basic programs, and let's just start scouting. Thankfully, we're still on relatively easy hosts here, so tally per action, get rid of you, walk forward, tally per action, get rid of you, scan. There's this guy over here, connection used until disabled, we have to get rid of that because otherwise I can't leave. Okay, am I going left or right? I've got a guess. Now, ultimately, I need to load scan again as well. So what I'm going to do is a minor optimization. I believe every time the security level rises, so here, we'll dive deep into a mechanic here. You see it says scan 2 out of 2 here, right? So scan 2 out of 2 means you know what the node is, and you know if there are any traps there. Here is scanned, well, it doesn't say it, but this is scanned 1 out of 2. If you scan an adjacent node, if you scan, that and every adjacent node goes up 1 level. And so this went from unscanned entirely, such as that was unscanned entirely, to scanned 1 of 2. Scanned 1 of 2 means I know what the node is. It's a data warehouse. It also means I know there's an active ice and a passive ice, but I do not know about traps. And then if I were to walk there and use scan, it would go to scan 2 of 2. And I would have scan 1 here, and I would have scan 2 of 2 here, and I'd know about traps. When the security AI escalates, it tends to downgrade every node back to scanned 1 out of 2. But not down to 0 out of 2. What that means is I would be allowed to scan at this node again, because it would be scanned 1 out of 2, and I could load and use scan, and that would again, okay, this would make this scan 2 of 2, this would make this scan 2 of 2, and as a result, I would see traps. So I'm going to go this way, with the hope, oh, here's CPU, we found the CPU, right? We did a scan and only 1 node got revealed. Okay, well, scan 2 of 2, this didn't get revealed, this must be CPU. Alright, well, run over, pop null op, we get an escalation. Okay, fine. We scan. We get a bunch of stuff revealed. So now this is scan 1 of 2. This is scan 0. This is scan 1 of 2. We get scan 1 of 2 for free here. We get scan 1 of 2 for free here. Got to spike CPU, of course, to lower the... Well, I could loop back, but nah, let's be efficient. I can't scan any further just yet, but I can load disarm, which I'm probably going to need since I only see 1 node here in the Matrix on this Financial Fortress, and I'm likely to need it. I do still want to get here as fast as I can to turn off the camera. That's going to be pretty far away. I've got to go all the way around and then all the way back. I'm going to clear this out, but then I'm going to run across and go for this. Alrighty, well, that's my first turn hacking done. Yeah, you are fairly useless until we know what we're going to do down the line. So I'm going to, I guess since we know this camera isn't moving anymore, I can run pretty far up. I'm going to go here to start and get some, information on where guards might be. Okay, there are 2 guards here. I'm just going to stand here and... Well, here, I'm just going to yield. Let other guards move. I have another line crawler. I don't really... Well, actually, if I line crawler this camera, it's at least of use. Not of the most use, but it is of use. I think what I'm going to do is turn off some... Yeah, the problem is when this camera turns back on and turns, it's going to see this body. This one is actually worth disabling, though. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to Signal Grift. And I'm going to knock that thing. So now there's no more body timer here, which should be... give us a little bit more safety. Alright, you're going to walk. We know where you're headed. It's away from us. Thanks, dude. See ya. And now the Cyberknight is able to pretty cleanly just run across the map and achieve my goals. We know that you're not scary, so I'm going to have the Cyberknight just run here and do the mission. It briefly says, hey, I see 2 people. We leave. Only see 1 person. We're fine. Let's do the mission. It's done. That fast? Quantum networks are fast. The endpoint was paired. The knight who came before me must have snuck it in here. Whatever secrets Octane was stealing, they've already been funneled to the other quantum endpoint. Then it's time to leave. Our debt is paid, and we are out of here. It better be. Trust me, we are not accepting any other outcome. I've wired up 2 possible exits for you. We can go out forward through the 2 new guards, or we can go back the way we came. I still would like the optional Matrix loot. I would still like these loot box contents. Also, the secondary objective for 10% XP, just not a big enough deal relative to the upside of stealing an entire Matrix host. So I will happily just chill out here. We know this guard's not scary. We know this guard's not scary. We're just going to kind of consolidate power, stay safe, and wait until our hacker finishes all his hacking. I'm going to have you hide back here in case these guys start moving. But otherwise, we're chilling. Alright, looks like line crawler bounced. But the other camera, it's likely to turn on. Alrighty. Well, can't scan any more easily. We scan, we see a trap, and this says when you take any action, steals 10 AP, and while the trap is active, we get 10 tally per action. Gotta disarm you. Can't download until this is destroyed. Okay, down it goes. I'm gonna take another scan real quick. You can see scan 1 of 2. No more traps, but we don't know what's here. So we gotta load our normal tools again. And we try again. What do we have? This is when you exit the node, steal AP. I'll take that down now. Why not? Download access. And then again, scan 1 of 2. Because this was already scanned 1 of 2, we now see the trap, which is much easier for us. Disabled, disabled, take the download. We know there's a trap there, so let's load this, run down. If you load a program, steal AP, otherwise damage action every action. Well, that's easy. We take you down, and then we don't need to take this at all, because we're not going to load any programs. Network endpoints are always empty, so I'm just not going to bother. And I have 30 AP left, and I can see that it's scanned 1 of 2, so I can scan and see a trap there. And if I'm lucky, I can get here just in time to knock the camera down. It's going to be really tight, though. Wow, this is rough. Unload programs on any action, and when you use a program, steals Matrix AP. Well, these are going to hit me. We're just going to go 1 at a time. Ow, this pops. Okay, deception, disarm, a lot of security tally, no way around that. We scan, we get an escalation, we take 10 health to our hacker itself. That's kind of rough. Can't do much about that one. We're going to load a program. We have 1 AP left, can't do anything. It's going to be a little bit until we can do the rest of this. That's okay, though. It's not the end of the world. Keep in mind these things have a 4-turn cooldown anyway, so in terms of running the second Matrix host, we're going to need to wait 4 turns regardless, so it's fine. It means the camera turns on unless I can get kind of lucky here. Unfortunately, I'm really far away and can't line crawler that, so this camera is likely to turn and catch me, and I can't think about that one. It is what it is. Regardless, we know that you are not scary. We know that you are not scary. Go ahead and let these guards have their turn. I'm going to even wait on the Cyberknight. Well, I don't think I have to wait. I'm going to go here. That's on for a little bit. That's fine. We get a lot of stuff. These are really, really high value loot boxes, which is why they're worth getting. Quite a lot of usable components, decent number of files, decent amount of money. Good stuff here. If I spend 3 action points, I can get all the way across to right here. I get this loot box. I might not be able to get up the stairs is the problem, but honestly, it is what it is. I don't really care. 25k, armor blueprint. Okay, 30k now, some cubes. And then it's going to be close, but I'll bet you I don't make it. I think I don't quite make it up the stairs, and it's going to... Yeah, I'm going to have the security apparatus be angry at me. Yep. Is what it is. I don't really care. It's 6 extra tally. We're going to escalate anyway, so it's not the end of the world. And in fact, I bought this leverage to block AI escalations, so we might as well use that here. Since there was going to be an escalation, so let's just delay that. It could have been reinforcements. That would be pretty dangerous, so let's just not have them. We bought it for a reason, right? Well, we bought the what's it called? We built the field ops center for a reason. So you walk back into look ahead. I still know what you're pathing. You know you're running that way. Okay, fine. Not a big deal. And so what's left for us? Realistically, it's protect our hacker and make sure we're comfortable on this side of the map. So what I'm probably going to do is run to like here. This allows me to turn things back off as needed. We don't need to be on the side of the map anymore, right? We're all going to run to this side of the map. And it's really just like make sure the hacker is covered. Probably dogpile this camera. Maybe get rid of this motion field sensor. Play this area of the map until this hack is done, right? Cover this area so that he doesn't get shot at or anything. Obviously depending what these guys do, but it's looking decent here. I guess we'll just hard end your turn. Gotta make sure you go around the camera as well. I gotta make sure I'm not in line of sight of that camera. Yeah, I would be, so I'm gonna stop. Well, let's see, how far would it go? I think here would be relatively safe. So I'm gonna place that bet and just kind of end my turn right there. Well, we get some tally. Orders received. Yep, that's fair. So no escalation yet. Blocked by alarm malfunction. However, what? Yeah. So the camera saw 2 people. However, though, this person has been told, "Hey, our bioscan field found intruders. You should go look into that." So you know, valid. I don't know what this guy is doing. He could be a little bit scary. In fact, I might choose to go for a kill here. I think I have enough damage to get this kill without any other help. So I'm going to make sure I'm in at least some level of cover. Which is going to be here, I guess. And then, yeah, some minor obstructions, but I think this shot is actually decent. And we can get the rest of the team to help out. And so knocking this guard down is worth it, I think. Not guaranteed to get the damage. Indeed, I'm not. Okay, wow, that crit was pretty lucky. So this guy might see the body, sure. But if he does, we can shoot him too, probably. I was more worried about what his patrol path was going to be, and I had no look head charges, so it seemed like it was time to get the kill. This guy can wait where he is. I'm going to see if I can... I should be able to hack this turn, no problem, and knock everything down. That'll be helpful. So you've been told to act. You're not in an immediate rush. You're not in an immediate rush either. We still want to hack these devices down. And you have finished your patrol into the wall, and you're going to turn around. Cool. Good for you. Alrighty, so we want to move upwards. 2 tally in action means a relatively safe place to load a program in. I'm going to go here. Have to knock this down. We scan from the outside. We see there are no traps here. Okay, now do we want to burn a charge of null up or just knock these down? Also, this is not the important set of devices here. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of damage to my deck shield. That's going to be fine. And I don't care about these laser meshes, so I'm not going to bother doing anything more here. I'm going to scan and see there's more stuff going on. So for the other space, obviously knock this down. Knock down the remote controls. Scan to make sure there's no traps. There are no traps. What I want to knock down are these cameras and just for a good measure the bioscan field. So I'm going to hack that. I'm going to skip the camera preview. But down go the devices. And that should make it a little bit easier to move around the map, which is good. I'm going to go see what's over here. I've already done the 2 scans. Damage to connection. I could tank for a bit. My health is fine. But I'm still going to go for this one first. I'll scan for a trap. There are no traps. Download access blocked. Take these down. And I still have to go through one final set of nodes. It's probably cleaner to go this way and knock this down than go all the way around. So I'm going to go this way. Connection use has to get knocked out. Okay, fine. Lost some more health to my hacker, but it's okay. Go up here. I know that there's at least active and passive ice, as well as, you know, the possibility of traps. Scan costs 3 action points. I would rather move and disable 1 ice here, and basically take my luck with traps to maximize action points. So we're gonna go here first, and then with my 1 remaining AP, I can't do anything. I'll end my turn. I'll take my downloads next turn. It'll be fine. We can now move freely about the cabin. Looks like this guy did not do anything useful, so I don't really care too badly. This camera could be annoying. We should be a little bit safe here, so I'm going to go kind of back here where it's like pretty well covered. So he's fine where he is. I'm going to take my Agent EX and take a reload. This camera did turn a bit every turn, but not by that, like, not very far. So I'm going to end, like, I don't know, somewhere like this, and no, I'm not going to get spotted. This seems like a safe enough spot to be. Can end my turn. So, Supremacy popped because there was finally an escalation. Looks like this guard's been told to act. Oh no, okay. Still not there. Cool, we take those. Yep, so body timer expired, plus 2 tally. Sure, we didn't knock down all the bodies. We didn't have enough tools for that. That's fine. But because you're being told to move, and you're still on the patrol, and in fact, you could at some point see my hacker, you gotta stay sharp. What's your initiative? 9. That's fine. I think you're fine behind this wall. You're moving up. Let's see what you're gonna do. You see a corpse. You're investigating. And we're gonna kill you because you see a corpse. Okay. Download access blocked. Scan for stuff. A trap up there. Okay, fine. We have trap reduction. We need passive reduction. We grab it. We move up. We need downloads, steal AP. Downloads blocked. Take our downloads. That's us being done. These tools come up in 2 turns. Not a huge problem. We can disconnect safely. We cleaned out this matrix host. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of downloads. Pretty good stuff. Now I'm worried about running up to this spot right now because he might see me. So I'm going to yield. Let's see what he does. I actually might get in danger. Okay, I'm lucky. He decided to go this way. He sees a corpse. He's going to run up as a result. And then maybe some hunting. No, he's done. Alrighty. So I'm going to knock down this camera so we can actually, you know, march forward with some more aggression. I don't have the most action points. And in fact, I can't even reach both of them if I wanted to. It's close, but... Actually, this... Yeah, it's just not in reach. He's just a little bit too far away for this gun to reach, so... I'd have to go pretty far to get that shot. So it's not really going to happen. So... If I'm willing to shoot and kill him, which I think is actually quite doable... I'm just going to unload from over here. And make a bit of a mess of this. So yeah, we're just out of range there. These shots should be pretty decent. We get the kill. He hears gunfire, and I believe sees the corpse. So we gotta really make sure we make this count. If I go to here with 3 action points left, that's decent. I don't think I can go... Yeah, I can't go here with 4. So the question is basically, do I want to shoot the pistol twice or the revolver once and the pistol once? I can also gun kata, which shoots them both once as well, which isn't really any better. -9 for range. Is this any better? No. But without him having good armor, I'm actually pretty comfortable shooting the pistol twice. Largely to recoup recoil. That first shot's decent. Second shot should be coin flip-ish. We get lucky to get both. And then... Oh, I have Tactical Surge up, which I think is worth using here. No, I'm going to... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to yield. I'm going to have Upsell run in. Him getting spotted is not a big deal. Basically, I don't want to do much in the Matrix on the first turn because I don't have all my abilities available. So having limited action points is fine because I can barely load everything anyway. I don't have hard shell or overclock up. What I'd rather do is like initially load some programs and be sort of like overly cautious. So it's another big node. And if I want to backtrack as little as possible, I'm going to probably start over here. I'm going to like make this loop, come down, and then end over here. That's maybe correct. I'm not really sure, but whatever. I'm going to just start going by going up. So let's see what we can do. Plus tally. Okay, fine. That's going to be annoying. I'm going to come back for that. If I scan from out here, I can see the traps. These nodes also sometimes have downloads on them, so it can be worth investigating them sort of proactively. Blocking program loading, not a very big deal. Unfortunately, now it does matter because... actually, no, I'll just walk down. I'll come here later. Basically, blocking program loading... You know, I wanted to load disarm to go here, but we're just going to go down first instead, and that'll be fine. So run down. Oh, I can't even sleaze it because of the action point penalty. Not the end of the world, but that's okay. We got a little bit done. We didn't take any damage. It's fine. It's an okay first turn. And so you are now going to pop Tactical Surge, which will boost everyone for the next turn. And then you have to really make sure you get this kill. That range penalty kind of sucks, so I'm going to run a bit closer. I think this will be functional entirely. There's going to be shoot, then reload, then more shots. Surely one of them will land. In fact, the first one will, so we're fine. Alright, well, intruding guards have been taken care of. We're just waiting for this hack to be done, and then we can get out and get our free loot. Seems reasonable so far. I'll stay where I am. This seems like a decent enough spot to be. Okay, well, the escalation finally was allowed to go through. The only possible escalation was guards. And it's guards who immediately saw a corpse and are thus angsty. Looks like, yeah, this camera finally turned on and saw this corpse. So another escalation coming shortly because now guards and cameras know there's trouble afoot. I'm just going to yield a whole ton. Try to do what I can with the hack. Knock you down. Scan for neighbors. We know we're going to be a trap here probably. Let's scan. Okay, don't load any programs. Got it. Then we can leave. Go over here. Talent any action. Get rid of you. Could be traps here again. Let's walk over. Scan. Don't load any programs. Got it. Block download access. Take the download. Scan. What do we have? Dead end passive. Don't care about that literally at all. We'll walk up and leave. 3 tally for a load's not horrible. It's fine. We're going to load everything. Well, almost everything. Yeah, so without overclock, I can't load all my programs every turn. Or at least not close up to all of them. So AP for every action. Get rid of you. Passive ice. Easy to get rid of you as well. Plus AP cost. Then over here, it's thankfully pretty chill. We scan. We see download an account. And we ended up not needing the IO this turn, but it was a little tight. And we would have been down 1 program if not for having the upgraded level 2 cyber deck, which has more base IO. Next turn, though, hard shell and overclock make our jobs a whole lot easier. So we're fine for now. Next turn, with these all disabled, we can take our downloads, load up hard shell and overclock, load our programs, keep moving around, and keep getting free loot. Because I'd rather have the loot than the little bit of XP from security level. All right, let's keep delaying. You are on a patrol. You're going to find a corpse and be angsty, and then you're going to be a bit more proactive. Actually going to end your turn. Just kidding. Okay, you can't do anything. Fine. Let's take this reload, and... the timing here really sucks. I want these guys to move first. These guys are all, like, pretty actionable. So I have to just end my turn prematurely, I think. So I'm going to duck and kind of end up here. Which puts me in a good spot for actually fighting them when the fighting actually happens. And by going crouched, I don't trigger the motion field sensor. I can try to throw him... No, I'm not in range for that one, nor for hold up, so we're just going to end the turn. A little bit early, but it is what it is. You are investigating the fact that this guy was a corpse, and are going to hunt around like, okay, where was the assailant who killed this guy? Doesn't find him yet. I can take a reload here. I'm going to have you do similar things of hiding behind these chairs and waiting for combat to actually start. Should be very safe behind this bench. Bloodo's going to default this way. He's going to see the same body, probably. What? And then ends the turn superimposed. Okay, fine. I'm going to keep my Cyberknight here. There's a chance that the next escalation is reinforcements, and it could easily be this door. It could be here. It could be a lot of things, but I'm going to leave my Cyberknight here. I think it's reasonable to do so. Camera turns on. The response is rebooting jammed devices, so we're probably right in that camera. Well, we really, really got seen. Oh well. Also found a body. Well, we're not low security. It's fine. You're still hunting around and, you know, useless. Don't really need to go for gun kata yet until the enemies actually move, so we'll just let them have their turn. You're finally running over because the security A I told you to. We can download these. We can load hard shell and overclock. We can load more programs. Alright, let's go around and get what we wanted to get. Which is... going here. I'm just not going to risk it. I don't care. It's not worth the time. Don't have to take this one down. I'm going to scan from the outside. We can see now there's a trap there. Okay, great. It's both anti-download. We take this download. I'm just not going to bother. There could be a download there. I don't care enough. I'm going to load scan while I'm here, though. These are both disabled, so it's fine. Come down, move left. Connection use has to be gotten rid of. Okay, we see the CPU is going to be right here. Let's go ahead and knock this one down, too, then. Null op clears up everything. Spike CPU. No more escalations. Great. Judging by everything else I've seen, there's only ever 2 things on a download node. So there should be no traps here. So we will go in this order. We'll take our download. We don't have the ability to scan for a trap there, so we've got to load this up and know that there's going to be a trap there. That's fine. We can deal with it later. It's going to be next turn. And so pretty cleanly during the next turn, we'll be done with everything, and we'll be fine. In fact, I can... No, it's fine. I'm just going to... Yeah, actually, I can walk like this, and it's fine. This is always a passive node on these is always block download access. And so it's never going to be something like, your things cost more action points, or you can't load any programs or whatever. And so I can pretty safely just scan here, get rid of whatever the trap is, and then like load sleaze right in front of it. The one downside would be if the trap says, if you load a program, be annoyed. Which means I would not be able to load sleeves without being annoyed, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. They chose to do nothing. I think we should probably knock down these guards. Yeah, so 3 of them get here. This guy cannot. I think knocking these guys out is appropriate, so let's go. You're obstructed, but not so horribly that it's a big problem. This kills. Good job. Alright, that's a start. Yeah, so because they're superimposed, I actually can't kill them cleanly. That's a little bit too bad, but it is what it is. Not going to use a revolver because you could hear the revolver, so we're just going to shoot with the pistol. Decent enough damage to start. Down you go. Other guy's now available. Cool. Yeah, that's you being done. And then again, it's the urban assault is loud enough that you would hear it, so let's just go. Oh, you're tanky. Okay, well, I'm fortunate in that you didn't see the other body. And so I get to wait a little bit longer because you're still kind of useless. In fact, what I want to do instead is just send you away. So I'm just going to throw Shadow behind you, and you're going to follow it and go over there. You saw the corpse, which wasn't the best idea for me, to be honest, but oh well. I'm going to crouch to here and line crawl this camera back down. Go away. Alright, well, next turn will be done hacking, and we can start running for the exit. Should be just fine. Line crawler bounced to something else, looks like. That's pretty good. We take those. Alrighty, yeah, again, we are just waiting until our hacker is done, and that'll be the end of the mission. So, you're investigating Shadow. You see nothing. Unique is going to hang out here for now. Upsell should finish hacking. Let's go ahead and scan for the trap. The scan, unfortunately, is a loaded program, so sucks to suck, but it is what it is. Take our downloads here. Scan 2 of, or after the scan as well. Scan 2 of 2 sees a trap there. Okay, fine. If you exit steal AP, unload programs on action. Okay. Scan for nearby. Okay, well, I know I'm going to exit the node. I know I need active destructions. Let's go here. We walk up. We see damage to connection and download access. We kill both. Okay, fine. And then the last question is, do I want to run all the way over and check here? I think the answer is yes. So even though I bypassed it earlier, end of the day, I think the right choice is run here, pop null op. Turns out there is something worth getting. And it's time to leave. We got everything we cared about. We got some loot. It's time to run towards the exit. It's going to take me 2 more turns, but we got to grab some more weapon and weapon mod blueprints, which is pretty useful. I can't yield any further easily, so not much else to do except sort of move towards the exit here, and that's fine. There shouldn't be any more combat needs from what I can tell. I could be wrong. You're hunting, but you're not hunting well enough. It's not a big deal. Looks like similar here for the Gunslinger. I'm going to run you, or walk you to safety. Reload for good measure. Shouldn't be a big deal, though. And then for the Cyberknight, we can go ahead and knock down that camera. Run to the ring of the motion detector, and then, you know, crouch walk through it. Get the whole team out. Okay, we get another escalation. Thankfully, the reinforcements are on that side of the map, which is already, you know, already been spotted. There's no new information here. We get a wildfire, which is going to be highly damaging if it happens, but shouldn't be a problem. Yield again. You're back to patrolling, but you're kind of useless. I'm going to have you straight up run. Let's see, do I have... Yeah, I don't have line crawler back up. I'm just going to run. Because all I'm going to get here is 1 tally. And it's just like, we're not escalating anyway, so it's not a big enough deal. So I'm just going to run across the map, and I should be totally fine. So motion detector found me. Not a big deal. I'm going to have Egress just, like, run to the exit. He's going to be fine. So he's done. You're hunting. You're useless. You're going to start investigating. You went over that way. I'm going to have you throw down smoke screen just to make sure the hacker is safe, but it really shouldn't be a problem. Again, you can just be done here. Out you go. This blooder is going to patrol, see a body, do some investigation, not get close enough. Seven's going to go ahead and tactical surge for some more action points. Wasn't going to get my hacker to safety or get him all the way out. But again, I will minimize tally when I can. Run you onto the exit, and then before I go, I'm going to use pre-computed advantage to let him go first next turn, which means no matter what the guards try to do, I'm acting first and I can get out. So you are not terribly useful, and that's just fine. You're hunting. You're not very good. We get another line crawler bounce onto that camera. We took 10 turns for this. I think it was correct to take the 10 turns to get the extra loot, to grab all the stuff from these Matrix hosts. And we are done. Thank you very much. Goodbye. We're clear. The data has been scooped. We're clear, but don't slow down. Go, go, go. Time to call Octane and put a stake in this nasty affair. And we are free from our 2 million in debt. Your team continues to deliver. You've the makings of a big-time player in this city. The queue endpoint was connected. Did you get your secrets from the transaction logger? Oh yes. It will take my people a long time to sort through everything we've gleaned today. But trust me, together, we will use this leverage when the time comes. Octane now has the Kingmaker's Hand, which is a trait mechanically in the game, and as she is ready to vault to the top of her faction when the time is right. While it lasts, this will allow power play storylines. So power play, we'll talk about this now, is a mechanic. It's basically a mix between a procedurally generated and story mechanic. There are only 3 power plays in the game right now. This is a pretty fertile ground for a lot more content expansion, but right now in early access, only 3 power plays. 2 of them are related to weaponry, and 1 of them is related to getting new consumables. And so based on her traits and who she is available for certain power plays. Now again, in the current game right now, there are no power plays that align with Octane's traits, but through content expansions, that will eventually be the case. Additionally, Kingmaker's Hand, I assume, is going to be very much a story-driven trait that will eventually further this storyline, the Haven Smokeout, Plan B, Loophole Heist sort of space. Well, anyway, we can jump in and say leverage for when you go after Henninger. Going after my own syndicate boss sounds dangerous. Thought that was your plan. The plan's forming up. I'll admit I stole from Henninger, but doesn't mean she is the target of our next move. The secrets from the transaction logger are going to help us find a weak link in the chain. Perhaps you're even more sly than we give you credit for. And ultimately, say, yep, we're ready when you are. No more debt, just partnership. We're going to go to the vault to the top of D Cartel with Octane. That's how a true power player in the city thinks. We're working together as partners, sharing the risks and the rewards. It may be a while. I have to let all this heat bleed off. Can't have anyone near Henninger getting suspicious of what we pulled off here. When the dust is all settled, and you're ready for whatever your next move is, call me. Our debt to Octane has been cancelled, and we've agreed to join her on whatever comes next in her rise within the D Cartel. She's disconnected. Gather the team. Well, we're either finally free of Octane or 2 million of leverage. I owe all my life. Or you don't reach the top without, you don't reach the top of this town going easy. From here, the road gets deeper. I like being kind to everyone around me. I owe you all my life. You have carried this team. Plenty of chance to return the favor. If it weren't for the wires in your spine, we wouldn't have had this shot. Back on the rooftop, you know that TX-80 never stood a chance. Nobody had a split for Atlanta after all. We've been through it, haven't we? No Atlanta. We're home in the dome. All right, well, egress levels up, upsell levels up. That's nice. We would have gotten about 11 more XP if we had gotten it in, under, security level 3. End of the day, though, I would rather have everything else here. Yeah, so we get a lot of stuff from the optional hacking, right? So here's stuff from optional hacking. We get a bunch of files that we can sell, a whole bunch. We get a couple of blueprints that are half decent. We'll do crafting much later in this playthrough. And then quite a few accounts. Accounts only exist to be directly sold. If they are legendary or epic, they are worth influence, and you can use those to thus level up the services that your contacts have. So pretty positive there. We should have enough to level up Blur a bit. Yes, indeed. Need level 6 in order to get Puppet Master minus cooldown. I think that is my next choice here. I want Puppet Master's cooldown, and then from there I'm going to go into efficiency grind and field coordination. I think realistically, I might think that this road is more important than the single point in care and feeding. I don't have the choice to respect that right now. I have no respect tokens until I build a SimStream trainer, but there's a world where I'd really just rather deck this out a little bit faster. Maybe even like skipping this point just to get Puppet Master cooldown. Because as it stands, right, I trigger Puppet Master like really early on, and this cooldown would be 8 days closer instead of 16 to be 8 days, and that like is useful, right? The sooner I can get Puppet Master up, the better. So I do want this as soon as possible. But for now, it's what I've got. We'll make our safety save. And so the plan is to hire everyone else up now. So the barracks will be done in a second. We've got some people busy with legwork. We are going towards Underworld Hub level 2 as we can. I'm busy with all my safe house tasks already. I'm going to look for file sets to mint. I can't mint any of them. I'll look for individual files I can sell that are not used by a set. I've got quite a few, actually. I think getting some money would be nice. So, yeah, we can sell to Octane. And really just highest bidder. Individual files like this aren't a very big deal. Just sell to the highest bidder and you are chilling. So that's fine. I'm going to hang out on blueprints for now. For accounts, legendary ones, again, are worth influence. So giving this influence to my Wire Ghost is useful. So we send these specifically to Dance Hall. Getting her all the way up to... I'll leave the last one for now. But I'm just kind of prioritizing money otherwise. Making money from these basic accounts. Again, highest bidder. Common and rare ones are literally just, it's worth money. They are planning on adding a bulk sell feature, so that becomes easier down the line. But for now, we don't have that. No big deal. Okay, so we're going to end this episode relatively soon. I'm going to take care of the rest of the base building first, which means we're going to go do class training on the hacker. With his extra point, I really don't need more in null op. I guess that means +1 charge packet loss or moving up toward 0 interrupt, so I can turn off devices on an entire node. That's pretty useful. Ultimately, this right now is currently overkill on null op right now. Until I get to much harder nodes, I don't need all the big damage bumps. But honestly, I'd rather use null op than 0 interrupt. And this requires 4 points to unlock, and this is essentially the same. So let's just go this way anyway. The null op costs no action points, get the extra charge. At some point, I'll grab packet loss, no big deal there. Gunslinger's not necessarily going on a mission, but I'll train him anyway. I'm going to go ahead and take minus recharge and plus charge on gun kata. I think I'm going to leave these where they are. I don't think I need more, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got. And then we'll look for more talents that are useful. I've got one to spend. I think pin down is decent for the minus evasion. That's kind of all it's giving me that I care about. That's decent. I don't really care about cover me. I don't really care about snapshot. I'm not playing double revolver, although twin iron would work with pistols as well. I'm not going to go fanning and gun kata. That seems kind of useless. Realistically, I'll probably start investing in maybe some more link watch charges. I think bumping flush for more minus armor is very reasonable also. I'll figure it out. It's farther down the line, all the same. Okay, so yeah, timeline and base construction. I want Underworld Hub level 2. I want to start bumping my cold storage relatively soon so that I can put in better cryo and print bigger file sets to sell them. I'm going to wait until these legworks are done. There's a moderate reason why before I start this one. So let me go ahead and let time tick forward. Right, this room is getting cleaned up. I want to build a hacking station. I think now is fine. I could instead go for an early nanofab. I do have quite a bit of money. I'm kind of debating it in my head which one I'd rather do here. Early nanofab is actually really interesting. I'm going to try that. Since I have extra money, I'm just going to see what happens when I go really, really early here. And we'll see how that goes. I also now have space to hire a new mercenary, so let's do that. I want you to meet a thief named Vimelia. Used to work with her on jobs back when I was in with the Low Z. So you're on recon for Low Z raids and hit squads. I'd like to say that I cased targets, places, people, operations, anything the team wanted to know, entrances, exits, security routines. Upsell said you were good at what you did. You always notice the most important things. I am good at what I do. That's why the bosses kept me busy, even though I wasn't more than hired help. You never pledged? I'm sure they probably feel like I did. I hung around enough years. But to be honest, I never liked their larger agenda. What part wasn't to your taste? Most of it. Drug running, bravado, fighting. For what? Ward 4? But you pledged to our agenda? I feel like my agenda and your agenda are much more aligned. So I would. Well, you said all the crews used to ask for you to run recon. What makes you so good? So now we can choose a trait for her. We can make her a thief, agile, or a sleuth. Sleuth gives us some legwork chance. Agile gives move speed and fractional move points do not round. You need to get an entire plus 1.0 move point, but if you can get there, that's really, really good. You can also just give her much quieter running and fewer move points, but ultimately, since I expect to use her for legwork quite a bit, I'm going to pick her as Sleuth, actually. I paid a lot of attention to the details. It takes a real sleuth to properly case a joint. Little details, big details. You can't afford to miss any of them. In our line of work, that could be the difference between a score and a disaster. What do you think, Blur? I've got one more question. I want to know about your chameleon sheath. Upsell said you just recently had it spliced in. That's not cheap chrome. You didn't earn that kind of money doing intel sweeps for a street gang. Where did you get the money? And before you answer, let me be clear. If you want in this company, trust is our baseline. So even if you don't like your own answer, it still better be the truth. So, to find the merc's backstory by picking one of the following complications. Took a big risk on a personal job and pulled it off without being made. I stole from the K milieu. Got a lucky break off the street and did a few gigs for a mid-level Ultratech exec. He offered the implant, but I owe him obligations. Sold out one of my Low Z boss to a rival in the Fenians, and I can't go back. Hater with Low Z I think is fine with me. I don't mind that. Didn't get along with his agenda. He was a corrupt scumbag who was selling Low Z secrets to Bravestar. But the rest of Low Z probably didn't see it that way. I didn't make a case to him. I just took action. And then I took the money and disappeared. So there may be headhunters after you? In time, maybe. The Fenian took a swipe at the gang boss and did some major damage, but didn't remove him from the board. So there will be headhunters eventually. A private word? What do you think? Well, everyone in this business has something haunting their past. You've got to keep that in mind when weighing a new recruit. If we can't decide now, we can continue to review the recruit from the roster before making a final decision. Nah, plug one to the team. Let me run recon and stealth for your crew a few times, and you won't regret this. I could have checked before we even went, but this one right here is actually randomly generated. This one is guaranteed. She's always X-Low Z recon, but Street Smart is a role. She gets bonus XP, she gets increased will and initiative. But again, she's like mostly going to be a legwork character. Sure with stuff once in a while, that's fine. Has personal respect for Mark Sanders. A Gingos contact, she sold him out to the Fenian. She betrayed Aiden Wong from Low Z. A traitor to Low Z. She's barred from doing legwork around Low Z because they hate her. She's a friend of Upsell, my hacker. So these traits can all be used at some point with a story engine to generate new missions that rely on these aspects. Right now, there's nothing that really hooks into these. Again, early access and all that, but theoretically. As far as respecking a Vanguard, there's a lot of options that I quite like. I think Glasswalker is very good. I think ultimately Glasswalker with +1 action points of initiative and a 2-turn duration ends up being a really overpowered talent. This is one that I think is deserving of a small nerf because functionally printing 8 AP with 2 charges on a 3-turn cooldown is ridiculously good for 5 points. It's not like a must nerf by any means, but I think it is. I would say it is the single strongest talent in Vanguard, and I think Vanguard's a pretty good class. So that's kind of saying something. I think Lure is a really fun tool to use to distract people. I think Jamkit is a really good, just bread and butter security device tool. Refract is really, really fun to deal with. I think getting a lot of points in Refract is very fun. It's quite powerful, but it allows you to do some cool problem solving. Ultimately, I'm not going to learn anything until this character is actually... and I haven't actually gotten to play with Pinger yet, but it basically says, hey, the security AI is going to dispatch somebody to this location. And so it's going to be kind of random, but you can kind of guarantee somebody runs into like a corner. And you can give it like a really, really solid range and just like make sure someone walks into, some useless location, right? Especially also if, maybe the security AI is like running low on guards, you can start to like figure out exactly what's going to be or who it's likely to be. So that can be kind of useful as well. Anyway, I will learn her talents when she's actually going to run a mission, but for now she's hanging out on the roster. Nothing else to say really here. I'm going to bump my barracks again. I'm setting up for the play here. I'm going to set up for bumping the barracks again. And yeah, I want my legwork to finish. And then when it's time to run the next mission, that's when I will end this episode. Cool, so we can bump loyalty on the Cyber Knight. We can bump Relentless Tracker to give tech and crit chance, and that's actually really, really useful. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. I like getting crit chance, so let's do that. Liquor chance is still 5, if I recall correctly. Oh, it actually does bump, but it didn't change the color. Okay. Well, liquor chances potentially go up, although I'm not seeing the numbers any higher. Underworld Hub level 2 is going to require cooling, but we're getting there. We do have... Yeah, Coca Spirit is up in 6 days. Still no Puppet Master for a bit, but when that's ready, that'll be nice. Okay. The room is cleaned, and that means we can build the Nano Fab. And a little bit after that, probably going to run this mission, we'll be able to do... Yeah, so I'm going to go this way. I'm going to start the Nano Fab here. It's going to cost me a pretty penny. When this is done, we're going to try to put in a Field Ops Center. Sorry, not Field Ops. We're going to upgrade the Underworld Hub. But what I need to do in practice here, I don't have the credit for this anyway. What I need to do is actually run this mission and get some money. So I'm going to take my save. We're going to start this dialogue. And next step is going to be whatever this mission is. Main set is willing to steal a prototype Jupiter nanofab stabilizer formula. Just loot the files in the set. It's jealously guarded Jupiter group secrets for the moment, but it isn't likely to last. Someone else will steal it or crack the formula, and then the opportunity to bank on it dries up. I've shelled a hefty bribe for the blue card worker to risk it all for this formula. What is it, Diego? Megacorps are always trying to find ways to guard their blueprints better, to prevent just anyone from stealing and using them. The most common path is to formulate special stabilizing agents, secret chemicals you need to dump in with your NBS cues, or resulting physical molecules just won't set right. My bribed insider is able to sneak the formula out of the main lab to a nearby facility in 3 parts. I will pay for any part you can lift. So we're the last mile pickup. Might be able to do that for you. Diego's offered a loot file set job. Must canvas the facility, searching each of his loot boxes for the formula. We'll be paid per pay data file we can steal. And the Undercity nav is going to be planned at the Command HQ. So this is a procedurally generated mission. Basically, if there's no actual back and forth, no dialogue choices, it tends to be procedurally generated. That's what we've got here. Our field ops tokens, we can't do much with it right now. If we had a higher level spot, we could get file data chips or cred chips in here. Realistically, though, we don't need these too badly, so I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to let too much time tick forward because I would actually like to run this sooner rather than later. We get predicted payment for that. Looks like it's going to be a solid, 200k for the mission. He's going to get 20 influence, which is nice. We're going to get more XP if we kill a lot of people, which, we might do. There's no hacking here, so ideally I sub him out and have Amelia come in. I need to, before I do that, I need to go ahead and switch gear around again. So what I'm going to do real quick is say, hey, this is the shotgun loadout. Because we have to have unique loadouts for everyone, right? So you've got the shotgun loadout, so let's go to her. We're going to swap you out and have you run this. Take the stuff from the guy. And then because you're going on this mission, we are going to train you after all, it turns out. I do want Refract. I don't personally love Silence a bunch. To be fair, this character is playing with a sword, so there's actually a little bit of extra value there. So I'm going to go Jam Kit. I'm going to go Silence. I'm going to go Lure. Because I'm sword, I'm using Silence. Otherwise, I wouldn't be too much. I'm going to skip Glasswalker on purpose, even though I think it's very, very, very good. Anticipation is nice, but I've still got my Cyberknight in every mission, so it's not a big enough deal for me. I'm going to beeline up for Refract. So semi-auto, by the way, actually counts shotgun shots. So a shotgun or a basic pistol counts as semi-auto, which means you can use Dome Shot to make this a stun. If the target has no protection points, it'll count. So, make a shotgun stun happen is acceptable. Minus evasion and cover bonus is okay. I wouldn't take these upgrades really, like maybe Pulse 1 Charge, but probably not. Them requiring no armor makes it not that strong of a talent overall. I don't think Synapse Short is very good. Minus accuracy, not a big deal. The enemies don't shoot at us anyway. At some point, going into K Protocol is nice. At some point, Blend is pretty decent. Ultimately, a little bit of crit chance is not too bad for this, but it's only for 1 shot. Plus 1 turn for the silence can be pretty nice, actually, to get around the map, more cleanly. But anyway, what I like about Refract is actually getting like pretty much all this kind of stuff here. I'm just gonna grab almost everything, and I'll get the rest later. The range is not super needed. It's decent. It's not amazing, but it's like pretty good. But I like the cooldown, and I like it in second charge. So I can throw up Refract walls to block line of sight. Fun stuff there. And so this will be the squad for the next mission. We'll get to try out some Vanguard talents. We've still got the Gunslinger here to deal some decent damage. Should overall be good. And then once we get enough money, we'll look for some more to do down the line. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.